So, hello again. This time we're in Unreal Engine to set up our reverbs from FMOD. Again, I'm not gonna cover the first step of implementing FMOD into Unreal. There are a lot of wonderful tutorials out there. So first set up FMOD in your Unreal project and then feel free to follow along. The first thing which is sort of different to Unity is we noticed that we have an additional folder called Reverbs with both of our snapshots being reverb effects. That leaves us with a very special opportunity in Unreal because they sort of well integrated FMOD with their own audio system. So we can look for audio volume and place that in our box, which I prepared as a reverb space. Perfect. And basically the only other thing we need to do is assign the FMOD reverb we want to use for that space to that audio volume. So I'm just gonna pick that cave snapshot we created in FMOD. And now when I press play, one thing which is again sort of special is that we basically have our envelope time here again. So we have a fade out time of 2 seconds, which then sort of interferes with the envelope we have inside of FMOD. So maybe consider using either Unreal's fade out time or FMOD's envelope, so you're not messing them up and maybe are confused why one thing is still longer than you expect it to be. The second possibility we have is to basically use Unreal's coding system or blueprint system, so we can set up conditions for when to trigger our snapshots. One very easy way is to use trigger boxes inside of Unreal, but I already want to point out that that is sort of obsolete because we do have the opportunity to use audio volumes. So I'm just using trigger boxes for the sake of showing how to use Unreal's blueprint system to trigger FMOD snapshots. For that, I'm just going to create a trigger box and place that again in our small cave. Perfect. For now, we have to do a few more steps than we had to do with the audio volumes. So we now open up the level blueprint. If you're connecting the trigger box to some other blueprint, you just open the other blueprint accordingly. Currently, my level blueprint is empty, but we're gonna change that. First, we need the collision on actor begin overlap and on actor end overlap to start and stop our snapshots. First, we need to check if we're actually the player overlapping with the trigger volume. This is done using the cast to BP first person character. Keep in mind that cast to BP first person character is only the name of that because I'm using Unreal's first person character template. If you're having your own custom character controller, use the according name for that. Then afterwards, we simply need to trigger or stop our event. As we had it in Unity, we need to first create the event and then store the reference to the event instance so we can stop specifically that instance of the event. That is done using the play event 2D node, where we select which event we want to play. Again, snapshots and FMOD events are considered sort of the same thing, which is why we also see our FMOD footsteps and jump events. But we want the snapshot event cave. And then we need the event instance stop, because we're now stopping the instance. For that, we're connecting the trigger from our end overlap and getting the instance from the play event 2D. As well, we want to release the instance, meaning we're destroying it after we're finished. So compile and wonderful. Same reverb we expected to have than before. And I'm hoping that something of that was useful for you and your project, and see you in the future.